So, second Fender from Gary's collection, and he didn't play an awful lot of Fenders, so the ones he did, you bet are going to be pretty special,
Yeah.
which is indeed the case with this. So this is a 63, but it's not completely original, and Gary bought it that way in the 80s, and I believe he called it his Workhorse. And
Okay.
so, and that kind of leaps out straight away, doesn't it? So
Yeah.
perhaps you can tell us why this one
I mean,
is...
that's fairly indicative of most Telecasters, in my experience. Yeah, I mean, the neck, if nothing else, is slab, which would imply kind of early 62, I guess, at the very latest. It's amazing, though. I've fallen a little bit in love with this one. It's just shouty and loud in the nicest possible way. It's like you pick up certain guitars and it feels like it's playing a piano. Everything's kind of equal. Every note kind of leaps out to the kind of same extent, you know, which I guess you could interpret it as a negative. You could interpret that as being kind of one-dimensional, but there's just a brilliance about it, you know, which everything kind of wants to leap off the fretboard and do most of the work for you, which is great because it means I have to do less work then. But it's just great. I mean, you know, straight away, you know, before I plugged it in, just strummed it, and it's alive. It's kind of resonating and vibrating through your body, you know, which is usually a pretty good sign.
Yeah, it's interesting this because when you play it back to back with the Strat, you notice that the bottom end is a lot looser. It's louder. It's more raucous in general. It's a sort of wilder guitar altogether, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, I mean, we're tuned down as well, which I guess straight away kind of lends itself to sounding a little bit more kind of swampy. But what it is about Fender guitars that seem to lend themselves so well to be down-tuned, I don't know, but it seems to just open them up, and you kind of get this extra just low-end response, you know, which is not boomy, it's not bellowy, it's none of the kind of pejorative B words apparently, but just, you know, very just open sounding and all this beautiful clarity. So yeah, very impressive guitar.
And much as we were saying with the Strat, I mean, the outline of the guitar tells us almost nothing what it will sound like, because this is not one of these shrill tellies. It's not one of these piano-like tellies at all. It's kind of almost a, you know, dare I say it, a rather Gibson humbuckery telly in some respects.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely an edge of that. It's I mean, this, you know, relative to what we were talking about earlier in terms of it feeling like more of a Gary guitar, this would be the type of guitar that I would associate with Gary's style a little bit more. You know, it's kind of a bit more forthright, a bit more kind of strident and aggressive, I guess. You know, it kind of, but still at the same time, no piercing highs that you can sometimes associate with a telly. It's just beautifully even throughout. It's gorgeous sounding instrument.
What do you look for in a telly? Because they, again, just like Strats, they can be all things to all people in their varieties. So what kind of telly would you reach for were you using one?
Good question. I guess fundamentally you want, it's obviously, I guess versatility is a word that's sort of very commonly associated with a Telecaster. They can theoretically be that kind of all things to all men. All of my favourite Telecasters are, it's hard to kind of try and articulate it. There's just a kind of like an openness to them, where it like that kind of piano-esque response that I was just kind of describing. It feels like it's just a particularly open, resonant, wide-sounding guitar. I appreciate none of those words makes particular sense when you're trying to describe sound, you know. But yeah, it's hard to put into words. It's one of those things that you kind of know the moment you pick it up, if it feels like it's just going to ring and resonate for days. And this, you know, is one of those guitars. It's just a kind of like a loudness to it, if nothing else. You know, you kind of play a chord and it's just, yeah, just rings like a bell.
I know exactly what you mean. I think
I'm glad you do, because I don't.
Because I think when we've looked at sort of other models of guitar in the past, and especially vintage ones, I think what separates really nice guitars, often electrics that is, from you know, sort of so ones, is that instead of the note being like a kind of solid core and not much else around it, these ones seem to have a lot more going on around the sort of main kind of point of the note.
Yeah, all of these overtones and the tones flying around. It's I think that's probably something I would apply to most of the great guitars I played, is you feel like you're getting all of these extra kind of beautiful rich harmonics flying around in addition to the fundamental note that you're playing. and it just lends itself to playing more musically, or at least trying to anyway. You know, if you feel like it's drawing these extra notes out of you, which you're not necessarily accustomed to hearing when you just play one note. There's just such an inherently musical experience to that it just makes playing it more enjoyable, which makes the music that you make hopefully more enjoyable. You know, that's generally my approach to gear, I guess, is, you know, whether or not the person in the back row of the auditorium can, you know, differentiate between a TS-808 or a TS-9 is kind of irrelevant. If it makes you play differently, whatever that is, whether it's an extra Weetabix that morning or whether it's a guitar that's drawing that out of you, that's what will translate. That's what will transcend to that person at the back of the room, you know. And there's just certain guitars like this one which you pick up and are just a joy to play. They just draw music out of you.
Well, we've talked about how this guitar sounds. Let's hear a few of the pickup sounds one by one.
So neck pickup first and foremost. Middle position. Then, bridge pickup.
That bridge pickup though, that's just it's nuts, isn't it? You think that sounds nice all the way through the bridge, and you go, Jesus.
Yeah, takes your head off.
I love how it's the simplest of guitars, 3 pickup sounds, a bridge that looks like an ashtray,
Yeah.
and it's an orchestra. You know.
Bolt that to that bit, and away you go.
Yeah.
There's something I think weirdly liberating around, like, not having too many options. That's always been, and far be it from me to criticise Leo in any way, shape, or form, but like this almost too much on a Strat sometimes, in terms of options, which I appreciate. Maybe sacrilege to some people, I guess, where you want that versatility, you want all of those little extra different kind of nuances and stuff. But there's something strangely focusing about a guitar that doesn't offer all of that. It just focuses your mind solely on what you're meant to be doing. Stick to 3 chords. Don't make it too difficult. Just kind of rock out and enjoy it. So yes, Telly's the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nailed it first time.